Welcome to the Nevis Newscast for Wednesday, April 20th, 2022. I'm Donis Wilkinson Keynes. The body of the late Vance Amory, former Premier of Nevis, a senior minister in the federal cabinet, and Ambassador Extraordinary Plenipotentiary, arrived in the Federation on Wednesday, April 20th, 2022. At the Robert Llewellyn Bradshaw International Airport, a military reception comprised of senior members of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force and the St. Kitts and Nevis Defence Force was accorded to the statesman as his body arrived via a British Airways flight. Dignitaries, including government officials led by Prime Minister Dr. the Honourable Timothy Harris, gathered for the reception of the mortal remains of His Excellency Vance Amory. The body of His Excellency will lie in state at the Parliamentary Chambers Government Headquarters, Church Street, Bastia, from Thursday 21st to Friday 22nd April 2022. The viewing of the body will take place on Thursday from 9:30 a.m. until 3:30 p.m. and on Friday from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. Members of the public will be able to file past the casket and pay their respects on the 2 days and during the hours stated. The body of the late former Premier will then be transported to Nevis. Meantime, His Excellency, the Governor-General, Sir Tapley Seaton, has issued a notice in relation to the official mourning period in observance of the passing of Ambassador His Excellency Vance Amory. According to a press release from Government House, by virtue of the powers in him vested, the Governor-General has ordered that the official period of mourning in respect of the passing of Ambassador His Excellency Vance Amory shall be Wednesday 20th to Saturday 30th April 2022, both days inclusive. The public is therefore to be guided accordingly. A number of dignitaries, both former and present members of the Nevis Island Assembly, recounted their personal and professional relationships with former Premier of Nevis, Vance Amory, at a special sitting of the Nevis Island Assembly on Tuesday, April 19th. Among those giving tributes were former elected member Mrs. Jean Nisbet Harris, former nominated member Mr. Livingston Herbert, opposition member in the Nevis Island Assembly, the Honourable Cleon Stapleton Simmons, and former Premier of Nevis, Joseph Parry.
We were in opposition. We sat here, maybe the two longest members who sat here. I on one side, he on the other. He on one side, I on the other. But what I think we both ensured, that at no time were we disrespectful to each other personally. At no time did we say anything negative about our wives, our children, our family. And I was very pleased for that. And I think both of us are an example to the present politicians, that even though you may have a difference of opinion, or even though you may feel a different way to your opponent, remember that there should be mutual respect on both sides. And remember that in the end, you're trying to serve the country as best as you can. I would say this, it's very strange for me to be speaking about Mr. Amory. I never thought that he would have departed so soon.
His rich legacy has been printed across Nevis and the wider Federation. In politics, he was the founding member and leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement, which he led with distinction. Having been Premier of Nevis from June 1992 to July 2006, and again from January 2013 to 2017. Mr. Amory, you are one of the architects of this modern Nevis, and we want to thank you immensely.
I believe that all of us should have him as a role model. I want indeed to extend my condolences to all those who mourn, his wife and children, his immediate and extended family, to the family of CCM, and the people around the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
We know that Mr. Amory's greatest strength which endeared him to his constituents and to many Nivians and Kittitians, was his charm. In public, he always seemed to be smiling and hugging people from all walks of life. No one can deny that our fallen brother made a significant contribution to the island of Nevis and by extension, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. He will indeed be missed by many.
Also paying tribute to the memory of the late Vance Amory was President of the Nevis Island Assembly, the Honorable Pavel Smithan.
I would also like to pay tribute to the late Vance Amory, who I was affectionately a friend of. To my surprise, in 2013, when the CCM party regained power here in Nevis, one evening he came by and he said to me, "I want to make you the president of the Nevis Island Assembly." And I was dumbfounded for a while. He said, "I know you can do it, you have the experience," and that was history. Mr. Amory and I had, as I indicated earlier, a very cordial relationship.
Tributes were also made by ministers in the Nevis Island administration as well as former and current members of the National Assembly, as Mr. Amory had also served as a senior minister in the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. His Excellency Vance Amory, the longest-serving Premier of Nevis, passed on the morning of April 2nd, 2022 at the age of 72 years. The Ministry of Tourism is hosting a 2-week pottery making workshop at the Newcastle Pottery. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Tourism, John Hanley, outlined the purpose of the workshop.
Pottery making at the Newcastle Pottery has been going on for about 4 decades, and it is one of the most important intangible cultural heritage expressions. We have a very rich and vibrant culture in Nevis, and a very important part of that is the art of pottery making. However, not many of our young persons and not many of our adults even have had the opportunity or the interest to carry on this very useful skill, this very useful art of pottery making. And that is why the Ministry of Tourism, as part of its month of tourism awareness activities, which we call Exposition Nevis, we have decided to have a 2-week pottery making workshop.
One of the facilitators, Almina Cornelius, commended the Ministry of Tourism for hosting the workshop.
It's very good to see that the Ministry of Tourism has organized this so that other people can learn the skill of pottery making. I have been doing it for 41 years, and I think I will soon retire from it. And so I'm hoping that someone from the group, if not all, someone would be able to take up the challenge. I have taken it up from my grandma. I have passed it on to others. And so let's hope that you too would find it very rewarding. It is hard work, but it is rewarding.
A total of 10 participants will take part in the workshop, which began on Tuesday, April 19th, 2022. The following is an announcement from the Office of the Premier in the Nevis Island Administration regarding the declaration of a public half-holiday. The Deputy Governor-General, Her Honor Hailita Liburd, acting on the advice of the Cabinet of the Nevis Island Administration, has declared Wednesday, April 27th, 2022 to be a public half-holiday on the island of Nevis from noon. This is on the occasion of the 2022 Gulf Insurance Inter-Primary Schools Championship. The Organization of American States, in collaboration with the European School of Management and Business, is offering scholarships to pursue master's studies at a discounted rate at the European School of Management Business School. Available programs include business administration, human resources, marketing, international trade, finance, logistics, environmental management, and big data. Applicants are required to have gained acceptance into their school of choice before applying for the scholarship. The deadline for submission of applications is Friday, May 6, 2022. The entire application process must be done online. Prospective applicants may visit www.oas.org to access all necessary information, including the application form. That's it for this edition of the Nevis Newscast. I'm Donna Wilkinson Keynes. On behalf of all of us here at the Department of Information, thank you for viewing.